it's Molly. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for being here. I wanted to do tonight something a little bit different. I've really been liking sky blue lately by Amsterdam. So I wanted to do that as my background color. And I had done this piece, love it. And I wanted to continue with that kind of design, but I think I'm gonna do it just on one side this time and see how the negative space plays. So let's go. Hello everyone. So I've done a couple pieces now where I have just kind of drug the color along the side and had negative space. And I was really liking that. So I did the two panels and I had the light sky blue at the top. So that's what I'm gonna use as my base here. This is Amsterdam sky blue and it is just a gorgeous color. It is opaque, so I did still paint my sides, but it normally has good coverage when it's opaque. My other colors, I actually really liked this Amsterdam yellow gold. It's not metallic, but it has like an orangish yellow tint to it, almost like the deep azo yellow. And then I'm using a magenta that I mixed together. It's really bright. I'm using copper. I hope this won't go too muddy. I wanted this to stay bright in there. And then I'm using Prussian blue. So I think this color combo will go well together. Okay, so a couple of things when you're layering your paints. So my paints are thin, so they move really well. And if you want to see the consistency of how I mix paint and water for my blow dryer technique, you can check it out in the link in the description box. You can click either see more on a computer or you can hit the little arrow by the title. So my paints are very thin, but if your paints are a little bit thicker or you're worried about these little ridges, now I know from experience, these ridges dry flat for me. In very rare situations do they dry still with ridges. Sometimes it's happened, but mostly it happens when you can see the canvas through the paints. So if you're having an issue, just slightly tilt and you can see a little bit of the paint is flowing down there, but what that will do is it will even your painting the lines out for the most part. So if you want to see that, even that out perfectly. So just that tiny little bit of tilt, spread everything really, really well. So that's a little tip for you if you're having issues and your paint is still having ridges in it when you're doing like a blow dryer technique. Okay, so I always have a thought process for the way that I layer my colors. I'm going to start, so you have to think about what colors mix together to make things. So I'm gonna start with my Prussian blue because I want the dark contrast to be what you see here, because as I blow, that color should fan out through here. Okay, so I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna also, I almost poured that. I'm also gonna start in here because when I blow, I want some of it to blow out. So I don't wanna start all the way back here because I'll have all this negative space. So I'm gonna start up here. Just kind of a wavy line, not too much paint. I'm saying this mostly for myself. Okay, and if I want to do another layer, I'll come back and do another layer. I normally save my metallic for the top. So I have an option now. I can go with either the yellow or the magenta. The Prussian blue and the magenta will make a beautiful purple color. So that's what I'm gonna go with. If I had layered my yellow here, I would have ended up more with a greenish tone, and I still will because the backdrop is blue. So I'm gonna go, this is my thought process for this. So I'm gonna go with that next. And then the yellow with the magenta will create a bright, beautiful orange color. So I will go with that next. And someone commented and said, leave your painting like this. So I think I am going to do a pour, and I'm just gonna have the paint dry exactly as it is. You guys can let me know what you think about that. It's like an exercise in self-control, I think. So, okay. Now, I had debated putting a little bit of white in this. I think I may just drip some. So this is from a separate pour. I just keep mine in these little cups. I use my Lolivethi bottles for my thicker paints, but I use these so much that I just keep them in little cups, and then I can rip the paint, I let it dry, and I can rip the paint out and reuse these little cups. So I love these. So I think I want to, I'm just gonna shake this around to mix it a little bit. I'm just gonna do the tiniest little bit of white. See how I'm just dripping that on through there? Not a lot at all. Because I don't want it to turn into like all these pastel colors. Okay, do I want any more blue? Maybe just one tiny bit of blue. Again, just dripping these along in there. Okay, and now I'm gonna come in with my copper color. I'm using Creative Inspirations copper because this reacts with the Amsterdam paint to create beautiful cells and lacing. I again don't want too much of this, so I'm gonna go very lightly. Not too much at all, just dribbling along there. You know, this actually would be a really cool abstract piece just to leave the way it is. Now let me torch and see if I've got any air bubbles. I can see them popping in the blue paint as well. If you have a lot of air bubbles, there's a couple things that you can do. You can either mix your paints ahead of time and let them sit. I get a little bit too excited for that most times. So I torch the top really quick to get rid of them. You can tap it on the table if you want to get rid of the air bubbles. But I also mix my water in piece by piece, and that really helps. If you dump all the water that you're gonna mix in at one time, the paints really air bubble up quick because you're mixing and incorporating so much air in. So I really just mix tiny bits of water at a time. So I'm worried about this copper in here. I feel like I might go on top just a tiny bit with this pink. I feel like it might get just a little bit muddy, that brown color, but I'm not sure. So we'll just have to see. All right, wish me luck. I think I'm gonna blow this way, and then up this way. I'll start maybe with this corner. So these jagged, these jagged little things that form are actually, I love the color combo by the way. These jagged little pieces that form are actually due to there not being too much blue paint right here. So if you wanted to make that softer, you would just put a tiny little bit of paint right there, and then you can blow. And that created that little area there. So that's not really the design that I'm going for, so I may scrape that off, but I just wanted to show you guys that. So let me fiddle with this for a second. I need to get the composition that I want. I love the color scheme. So this is what I was talking about, putting the blue down first. You'll get kind of like an outline and a feathering of your blue on the outside. So you got your color composition and kind of how the paints react on the canvas. It's important. I have been dragging my finger along with little curly cues, and I actually like the effect of that. Okay, let me see here. So I don't like this part, so I am gonna scrape this part off. Reminds me almost of a dragon, right? And then the way I blew, this twisted into here, but I am gonna blow this part right here. This part right here is still bothering me a little bit. So I think, I love these little curly cues. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take a paper towel and wipe this part. I really like this design. It's so different. So if you have a part that you don't like, you just take a paper towel, dab it away. The scraping that I did a second ago, that actually will leave a line of the paint sometimes. So sometimes it's better to just, and I know I've told you guys this before, but the best advice I can give is to always mix up a little bit extra of the paint. Okay. Okay, so I went ahead and moved this out of the light so that it wouldn't reflect, but there's the beautiful lacing that's in there. Those are a little bit of cells from torching that happened. I blew on them just to make them a little bit larger. I love the way this looks like it twists right there. All right, I will show you guys the dried result. I'm really pleased with this painting. All right, see you in a bit. I might have a new favorite. Look at this. I was worried about the copper being too muddy, but when it shines, Oh my gosh. Look at how clean it looks on the sky blue background. Oh, just perfect for me. Exactly what I had in mind. It looks like it's twisting in motion. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it gave you some inspiration or some ideas. Let me know. Feel free to share my work as well. That always helps me out on YouTube. Give it a thumbs up, a like if you liked the video. And I thank you guys so much for watching. Happy painting. Bye.